Hi, welcome back to Teach Me Tarot ASMR. Today we're going to do episode 3, where I teach you tarot one card at a time. If you've been following along, we've already done zero, the Fool, and one of the major arcana cards. The number one is the Magician. So, what is the next, you ask? Let's talk about it. Let's go through our cards and find what we're looking for. Here's our first one. The Fool. specific card unless you're asking a feminine or gender specific question. The High Priestess is the inner you. The High Priestess is your higher self giving you guidance. It's often associated with when you're asking questions about what I should do or something like that, which, by the way, don't ask that question of tarot unless you want either a very confusing answer or a very direct, kind of painful answer. When you ask, what should I do? Often tarot will give you responses like this, where it's very vague, like, you know, which can be very annoying when you feel lost. Or it'll give you a very specific answer, and it might not be what you're asking you should do about. You have to be quite specific in tarot, and when you ask for shoulds, the universe doesn't answer shoulds very well, because there is no should. We're here to learn lessons. We're here to experience a lot, and it's a million different versions of you that you're experiencing at the same time. So when the universe hears should, it's like there is no should. There's things that you want to experience and that your soul wants to experience and doesn't, but there is no should. So my advice to you, don't ask shoulds. You're not going to get a very helpful answer. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get this, or you're going to get the World card, telling you basically, life is a cycle, you know the answer, and that can be really annoying when you are desperate for answers. Don't do that. I mean, you can experience it for yourself, but just my advice, it gets frustrating. Back to what we were doing. The High Priestess is an extremely spiritual card, obviously, and it's going to show up often when you are inquiring about deeper meaning in life, questions about what your purpose is, why you've experienced some of the traumas you have, those deep questions that don't really ever have full answers. It will often show up as, ask yourself. Sometimes this is the cheeky answer, and I've seen this show up a lot in advice. When you ask tarot for advice, sometimes, obviously, it says ask yourself, but it's also sometimes a very empowering card, and honestly, I would say more often than not, it's a very empowering card. It says, why are you even asking? This will often show up when you're asking a question and you have a gut feeling about the answer. Sometimes this is saying, you already knew. Why are we even here right now? It empowers you to trust those nudges you get, trust those signs you get, trust those feelings you get. And listen, I've seen this show up when there's been infidelity for people, not myself, but when I'm reading for others. I see it show up when there has been a spiritual awakening involving self-esteem, things like that. It tries to point you to the fact that ultimately you don't have to ask tarot for anything. You can ask yourself and get all the answers that you need to know. So this is my divine feminine, beautiful, spiritually powerful card. So it's a blessing to get this card. And if you ever get it in a reading, it is always going to be positive. Even if the reading is a negative energy, like asking, is my significant other cheating or something like that, getting this saying, but it's a positive thing to know. It's a positive thing to have the knowing. And we are all blessed with the knowing. You are not special in a bad way, meaning you're the only person in the world that doesn't have the knowing. We all do. We all have it. It's all in there. No matter how out of the know you feel you are, how disconnected you feel you are from spirit, you can embody this card just as much as anyone else or more. Okay? So let this be your confidence boost next time you get it. Let this be your guiding light need your reminder that you know. And if you're thinking maybe something is the way it is, it probably is. And this is often just a straight yes. You asked this, yes. Yes, you knew. You knew already. And sometimes when it shows up in the future tense, it's saying, you will know. Rest. Don't worry about it. Anxiety is not necessary. You will know the answer. You will have the answers, even if you don't have them right now. So relax. So in general, a very positive card. And as you can see, there's also a story that is told as we continue down the major arcana line. We start as an infant in this young stage, just with a dream, jumping and seeing where we land. Then we land somewhere and realize, okay, I now understand more about what I'm trying to accomplish, or what my goal is, or what my spirit is here to do. I'm gonna make more plans to achieve this. And then the knowing comes. I'm maturing. I'm aging into someone that can now trust my intuition spiritually to find my son, my happiness in this lifetime. I was a year, and now part of that is learning and becoming wiser spiritually for it in order to achieve this original idea we had over here. I hope this was really helpful for you. I hope it was very tingly as well. Please let me know if you have any suggestions, some thoughts. I really appreciate all